V-Light realized early on that in order to stimulate your brain with light, you need to get very close to the actual brain tissue. There's a thin layer of bone behind your nose called the cribriform plate that's located right behind your nasal cavity and is one of the thinnest access points to your brain. So they created these nasal cannulas that they've done a lot of work on. They're actually very comfortable to wear, but the most important part is that they are delivering red and near-infrared light directly to the frontal lobe of your brain through your cribriform plate. They're really comfortable and easy to use, and they bypass the biggest barrier to stimulating your brain with red light therapy, which is your skull. Now, MIP actually stands for multimodal intranasal photobiomodulation. This MIP uses 810 and 655. The 655 nanometer wavelength is supposed to provide more surface level activation, while the 810 wavelengths go a little deeper into the tissue. There's been a ton of research at this point showing that near infrared light actually activates mitochondria within your cells. It causes them to increase something called ATP, which is the main energy currency of your cells. It also encourages increased blood flow for more nutrients to the area and increased lymphatic drainage to get toxic byproducts washed out. Now, I have to tell you, when I tested this device on a human cadaver skull, the irradiance that made it through the bone was stronger than what you typically see with other red light therapy products. And I know because I compared them directly. For example, when you shine that nasal clip through where your nose would be, you can see all the red light that's getting through. I also used a spectrometer in these studies to show that the amount of power that's getting through the bone is enough to stimulate your brain tissue. Now with the MIP, they don't have a digital interface. They actually just have one button on the front of the device. And if you press it, it turns it on and off. And if you hold it, it switches between alpha and gamma. Now the alpha frequency around 10 hertz is used for more of a calming effect and can be used to help get to sleep better. Whereas gamma is more up towards 40 oscillations per second or hertz and is typically used for increasing focus, your energy, and even creativity. Because I feel like it just activates my frontal lobe a bit and makes me more creative and focused during work sessions. I was actually able to show before and after quantitative EEG of it increasing my beta brainwaves in my frontal lobe, which are an indicator of increased focus. It also has the alpha stimulation protocols, but if I'm going for a more relaxed state, I'll typically go for the full head coverage devices. I've had quite a few clients purchase the MIP 655-810, and we find that it's better for encouraging more reliable energy in the morning, better task initiation, less daytime fatigue, improved mood, a general sense of thinking more clearly and being a little bit more sharp, and more creativity. V-Light actually published some really interesting creativity studies that I went over in previous videos. So there's actual evidence that it increases your ability to think outside the box and improve things like verbal fluency.